Hello, everybody. My name is Colin Chambers, and I'm here today with Richard Osborn Jr., and he is the promoter of the Ozark Mountain Nationals. Thanks for joining the show today, Richard.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me again.
What did you like about this past tournament, and what's something that you look back on or reflected on?
Well, I tell you what, even I'm my worst critic, right? So when a promoter sits down and they look at the end of the tournament, they go, "Man, this went wrong. This went wrong." You think about all the negatives, right? But I can be happy to say that this was probably the best ran Ozark Mountain Nationals we ever had, and all the feedback that has been coming back has been absolutely positive. So kudos to everybody that helped out with the tournament because it ran smooth. And it wasn't exactly a small tournament. We were expecting a little bit larger crowd, but we still had close to 450 competitors there. And then our registration staff checked in a little over 1,000 spectators. So I mean, there was at least close to 2,000 people there total with your spectators and everybody else that showed up. So it was a lot of people, and it ran really, really well. So I was very happy with how it ran.
Why did you make your move to St. Louis, and what was the biggest factor for that?
We had our sights setting on looking at the NASCAR World Tour. We had to be in a larger market with a better airport to be able to accommodate that. So we don't know if we're still going that direction, but we were thinking about it, and we wanted to experiment with a larger market to put us geographically in the right location with a great airport or a better airport than what Springfield, Missouri has, to be able to set us up for the future. So this was kind of a test market for us to be able to go up there and see how large we can make our event, if we can actually look at the world tour moving forward, and just to kind of see what was going to happen with a larger market. We did well down in Springfield, but it was just looking at the future. There's going to be a changing of the guard at some point with major events in the country, and we felt like OMN could compete with a lot of other major events to be that next large event that everybody attends throughout the country, and especially being right here in the heart of America. You know, you're right in the middle of everybody, and I think geographically it just made sense for us to be up in St. Louis.
That's great. All the World NASCAR events are all in major locations. The Toronto Tournament of Champions. You have the U.S. Open that's down in Florida, and there's several other great events. So it's great that you guys put yourself in that location because it's not just about the event, it's also about the things happening around the event. So there's so much to offer in St. Louis in a major market. So that was a very smart move on the organizing committee's part as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we were close to the airport. You didn't have to go into St. Louis unless you wanted to, but a lot of people went down and took pictures by the arch. It was really cool seeing everybody's pictures, and so you could get to the St. Louis attractions if you wanted to, but we stayed just on the edge of St. Louis. But it was great. It was a great location, great place for families, a great lodging and food. So everybody really seemed to enjoy where we were at location wise.
Great. What are you looking forward to the most about the tournament next year?
You know, we're looking at growth. We're looking at maybe a possible one more venue change. We've been looking at some other venues around that area. We're even thinking about getting closer to the airport. So we haven't got everything signed with a contract. But just for growth next year, just to see who we can attract. There was a lot of buzz, after OMN this year, quite a bit of buzz, with social media and stuff like that. So we're really curious about how the next year being up in St. Louis is really going to, we could see a really huge boom, based off of the energy and the buzz that was coming off of OMN 23. OMN 24 could be a record breaking year for us.
That's great. Best of luck at your tournament next year.
Thank you. Appreciate it, sir.
This has been KC Sports Talk, the podcast with Kyle Chambers.